I don't torture her. She actually gets biscuits. Good girl. See, she gets biscuits. Oh, look, here's my scar. We don't know what this is. The doctors can't tell me what that is. After the operation, that popped up. Here's the scar where I got the plate and screws. And here's the scar from the ruptured... Welcome back, boys. Slick here in the Slick Head Garages. Well, wait, I should also include girls in this. Now that I know Ironhead Sally watches my videos. She's got a good channel. You should go check it out. Ironhead Sally on YouTube. So, welcome back, boys and gals. Slick here in the Slick Head Garages. Tonight we're going to go over the timing on the 1970 XLCH Sportster. Let me explain why I own this bike. Originally, a really good friend of mine, Panhead Billy, he restored this whole bike. He found every original part that he could to restore it to the condition it's in now. Because nowadays, most of the times when you find Ironhead Sportsters online, they're completely chopped up, they're hacked up, they're roached out, you know. It's rare to find them like completely restored. But anyway, he in the process of restoring this bike, he had the original frame was missing tabs, missing the seat tabs. I think it had a cut out neck gusset in here. And a I think a brake tab or exhaust tab on the rear swing arm. So he asked me if I could TIG weld on all that stuff for him. So I brought all my TIG welding equipment to his garage, which one day I'm going to be taking you to. It's a really awesome place. I took all my equipment to his garage and I TIG welded on the seat tabs, filled in the gusset, did the tab for the rear swing arm. I believe it was the brake control tab. Did all that. I'll insert a picture right here. This is how he treats me when I weld his bikes for him. It's a funny picture right here. And then all was good. And then I guess he was at a swap meet and he found this frame, which was all original and didn't have any, all the stuff was on it. Nothing was cut off or hacked off of it. So he decided to just use that frame and not the frame that I spent all the time on. No biggie, no harm, no foul. We still had a good time, whether or not he used it or not. So the bike was done. He's had it for a few years. He was going to trade it for a guy with a flathead Servi car. So he called me, asked my opinion on flatheads, you know, what to look for, what not to look, because, you know, he doesn't know flatheads, he knows panheads. So I told him my opinion of what he was looking at, yada yada. He was making deals with the guy. He was going to trade this bike and money for the Servi car. The Servi car was in the 40s. The guy was flaky, deal fell through. So he turned to me and he said, "Do you still want old Greenie?" We call her Greenie. And I said, "Hell yeah, I do." So I bought it. So here we are. Bought it, rode it around for a couple weeks. Like I said, it was taking like 15 times to kickstart it at it, leaving a bar, and it's not right. You should be able to kickstart these 1 or 2 kicks if everything's perfect, you time it right. So I was like, something's wrong with the timing. So I got into the timing, I made a mistake, made a misstep, and timed it wrong, a little too advanced. And as I kicked down that night, halfway through the stroke, it kicked back up on me. It ignited in the cylinder and kicked back and broke my ankle. Now, mind you, there's some other factors of why I broke my ankle and ruptured my Achilles. I was kick-starting it on the table. It was about a foot high off the ground on the table, and I was wearing low-top sneakers, which is a no-no. You should always wear boots when you're kick-starting bikes. So those factors are what contributed to me breaking my ankle. I've had bikes kick back on me before. It never broke my ankle and ruptured my Achilles. I think the factors of the way I was positioned with the bike on the table, kicking it, and wearing low-top sneakers, it was the perfect storm for whammo. So, all right, before we get into the timing, let me show you a couple things. Okay, what I wanted to show you is the detail that he put into making this bike correct as he could. I mean, he spent the time hunting down the little reflectors front and back that you would have got from the factory. These are the original style exhausts that came on this bike back in the day. It has the original high shoulder aluminum rims front and back, which aluminum rims kind of suck because they're easy to bend. Hence why I got to remove that wheel and true the rim by, truing up the spokes. But this pedal I put on here because here's the original kicker. I took it off because I slipped off of it a couple times and damn near hyperextended my knee. I can't believe I'm not crippled from that. This is a Bendix carburetor. It would not have come with a Bendix in 1970. It would have came with Tilliston. He gave me the Tilliston to go with it. But I'm going to leave the Bendix on here because the Bendix works better than the Tilliston. The Tillistons suck. So, at least I have it. I have the kicker. And this is pretty neat. He also has tracked down the original 1970 Sportster owner's manual. Look at this thing. It's pristine. So cool. Let me show you the pictures in here. Oh, and he gave me the original seat. Now this seat is from an XLH. I'll show you in a second here. Okay. So in 1970, here is an XLH model. And you notice it has that same style seat on it. Then you turn the page and here is the XLCH. And it has that style seat. But you get the point. Pretty cool. I guess it doesn't show any mirrors on this bike. It only shows one mirror on this picture of an XLCH. So I guess you can't go by these pictures too religiously, but I have that style mirror, but we have them on both sides. Just for safety purposes when you're riding. So, pretty cool book. You won't find that too often. What else did he tell me? This, and I've had people ask me on the air cleaner cover, this is on there. This is a factory accessory back in 1970, is what I've been told. So that, and then I have the matching generator cover to go with it. Pretty cool. Oh, in the book, you see the sticker on the battery. Oh, look who it is. Look who it is. All right, let's get into the timing. And real quick before we get into the timing, some other unique features is the internal throttle cable on the 1970. It's pretty cool. And he also gave me the original springs that would have came on here. They wouldn't have been covered like this. Get this out of the way. They wouldn't have been chrome and covered like this. I have the original springs that came with this bike. But he put these on here. This is more like a panhead style. Way cooler looking. Way better looking. I'm going to leave it with all the modifications. Like I love the solo seat. The Pogo solo seat. That's awesome. Love the shock covers. Yeah, you want 2 mirrors, safer. I like the Bendix over the Tilliston. If I can find another original style muffler that doesn't have that in it, I'll buy one at a swap meet. But that's it. It's got the boots on the forks. It's cool. And you know, I'll own all that stuff. I'll just leave it off, you know. That's it. All right. So, step 1 in timing. You got to jack the bike up. You got to get the wheel off the ground somehow or another. Sorry about that. Okay. I was already off the ground, stupid. Alright, you gotta get the wheel off the ground so you can move the motor or use your kicker pedal. You gotta take out your flywheel inspection plug. You gotta remove both your spark plugs. I removed all the air cleaner stuff so we can see better. You gotta remove your push rod cover keepers. And don't make fun of me. I'm using fishing hooks and fishing string to keep them up. I don't have wooden clothespins like the old guys use. Take your timing cover off, your circuit breaker, your distributor, your timer, whatever you want to call it. You remove this wire here that runs to your battery, or the coil, runs to the coil rather. You remove that. So we're going to put a meter on here. This condenser is new. So take the base off. And the first thing you'd want to do is check your fly weights. Make sure that they are moving freely and they are not hanging up on you. These ones appear to be good. I got to grease the cam, which I will do later, but in this video I'm not going to do it because I want you to be able to see this indicator mark. And I'm hoping you can see that with this light on, because that's got to line up with the fiber bar on your points lever. So let's put this back on. And in the manual, just so you don't, it would be kind of weird to mess this up, but if you were to flip this all the way around, which would be totally dumb, I think it's the book even tells you that these holes should be kind of relatively in that position, because your points will then be facing you and adjustable for adjustability. Just so you know, I'm going by the Harley-Davidson service manual, 1970 to 1978. I got the 79 to 85 over there for this bike, and my brother's 71. I got that bike to still work on. So I go by the book here to the T, adjusting the points in a 1970 model. Everything's here. That's for the later style, the nose cone type iron heads. So this book will break it down for you. And by the way, if there's anything I'm saying that's wrong when I'm pointing out stuff on this bike about originality or anything like that, feel free to correct me if I'm wrong. I'd love to learn. So anyway, back to it. Gives you a breakdown of everything there. Tells you how to install everything. So let's dig into it. Okay, so you want to get, using the back wheel, turn the motor, you want to get the, you want to set your point gap right now. You want to set where your point gap when the fiber arm is at the highest point of the cam lobe. I would assume it's right where it's pretty much at. You then want to set your point gap. The book says 0.020. Get yourself a feeler gauge set. And this is the O2 feeler gauge. So you want to make sure you have that much gap there. I think I have too much right now. Going to have to adjust it. You want just like a slight drag. See, those are the contact points in there. You just want to have a slight drag. Mine's a little too sloppy. Because there's other guys that say 18 to 22 thousandths, and this is a 20 thousandths. So, and it's a little loose, so it might be a 21. I'd probably still be okay, but I'm going to tighten it down. You loosen up that screw. You turn that one until you get what you want, then you tighten that back up. So, okay, now I have my points cap set up the way I want it with 20 thousandths. It's got a slight, whoops, hold on. It's got a slight drag with the 20 thousandths feeler gauge. So I like that. So that's where we're going to stay. Then you come around to the other side of the bike, and you got to line up the line on the flywheel in here. That's your advanced timing mark. It's a slash. So what you got to do is you got to spin the motor by moving the back wheel, but you also got to make sure that you are on the compression stroke, because you can be on the wrong stroke. So what you do is put your finger over the hole. So keeping your thumb over the hole, you start rotating your back wheel in the direction, a little bit at a time. As Just keep bumping it till you feel pressure start to. Now there's the dot. That's your rear cylinder timing where it'll spark. So you keep going forward till you feel pressure on your thumb. You'll begin to see the line in the flywheel hole, which I'll show you in a second. All right, here it comes. I got pressure. It just squirted out of my thumb in the hole. So now you tap it real slowly until you just start to see the line. Going to run out of battery. And here comes the line. You put the line dead center. Now, if that's wrong, if you old guys know something, like do you time it just a little bit right of the center or left of the center, let me know. But I'm going to go dead center like the book says to do. That puts us top dead center on the front piston. Now you come around here to this side of the bike, and with that line in the center of the hole, in the flywheel inspection hole, as stated in the book here. There's a picture of it. It says that you should have on the cam, there's an indicator hash mark should line up perfectly with the fiber bar on your cam lever. They should line up perfectly, it says. And you must advance your cam lobe when you're checking this. So you have the mark on the other side, flywheel dead center. That way you know that, look, these are both loose. A little drag on that one, but they're both loose, meaning that intake valve is closed, fully closed. It's about to start opening up, and you will get spark when this is rotating around. And those, see right now, I am not lined up perfectly. Not lined up perfectly. That's too advanced right there. I hope you can see this. I'll check it. That's too advanced. The spark is going to go off too soon. So I gotta spin the whole head in the counterclockwise direction to try to line that up better. So let me do that right now. Let me loosen these up. You come down here and you loosen these up. Okay, so I loosened up these two bolts holding this half moon looking clamp. I loosened them up. I spun the base until these hash marks lined up as perfect as I could see them. I'm going to show you pictures in my video. Okay, I'll show you those pictures. Now we'll test it with a meter. So now you got to get a meter that has an audible beep sound in ohms. So you put one lead, sorry about that, one lead on that terminal. And then you put one lead, you can stick it in this hole. So now your power wire would come to that point, and this is ground. You'll hear a beeping sound. That means these contacts are closed. Now, when the motor's spinning, this cam will be spinning, and it'll be like this. And that's the point where you hear spark. Where you'll have spark. So if you look down in here, I don't know if this can do it, but those two lines, those two notches are lined up as perfect as I think they can be. I don't know if it should be a hair to the leading edge of the fiber bar or to the trailing edge of the fiber bar. You know, I just don't know. So that's why I'm doing this video. So hopefully maybe someone who does know can help me out with that. I'm just trying to line it up dead center, hash mark the fiber bar, and I'll see what happens. But that's a good sign that my 20 thousandths opens up at that point. Intake valve is closed. I'm on the compression stroke, and then there is my advanced mark, dead center. And the reason why I'm going over this and I want people to look at it on YouTube is because I've already broken an ankle because of screwing this process up. I'm hoping you can see that, but I'll put pictures in the video. So that's that. She should be timed to perfection, according to the Harley manual. Okay, that's it. I'm going to put this thing all back together, and she's ready to try kicking it. I'm not going to kick it for another couple days. So if you've seen anything I did wrong in this video, please let me know in the comments. I think I did it right, so let me know. What do you think? And I'm a little gun shy to kick it because my ankle is not ready to kick an iron head yet with my right ankle. And I want to straddle the bike this time when I kick it. So I have a friend of mine, Dirty Dave. He's going to kick it for me just to see what happens. I have dirt bike boots. They're like ski boots, real hard and stiff, that he's going to wear just in case. Let me know if you see anything I did wrong. I think I did it perfect. Alright, I'll see you in the next video, and hopefully it'll be kickstarting this thing.